Hello. I'm pregnant. I am 14 weeks pregnant. And I'm here to talk about my first trimester. There's a few symptoms that I wrote down over time that I can go over. I always really enjoy watching these first, second, third trimester videos. It's just interesting what other people go through, and that there's quite a lot of weird symptoms that a lot of women experience. So it helped me to hear other women say that they have these symptoms, and so I don't feel so alone. And also, I have dealt with EMETOPHOBia my entire life, which is the extreme fear of throwing up. And so when you're pregnant with this fear, it's pretty intense and counterintuitive. It doesn't make sense, and it's one of the biggest challenges to move through. I'm sure anybody that has EMETOPHOBia can relate. And I actually watched a lot of videos of, there were some on YouTube of people with EMETOPHOBia being pregnant and how they manage all of that. So here I want to make another video for people out there with this extreme fear, and hopefully help in any way, shape or form. But first, the allergies are pretty strong right now, so please excuse me if I sound a little bit nasally. So week 4, I'm gonna go into the part with EMETOPHOBia specifics towards the end of the video. First, I'm gonna go through the weeks, only really week 4, 5, 6, 7 specifically, and then around week 10 or so, my symptoms pretty much started to taper off. And then in the last 3-4 weeks, it's been getting less and less and less and less. And yeah, I guess I'm definitely pretty lucky. So week 4, I found out that I'm pregnant, and it wasn't a shock at all. I just had a feeling. I just knew it. I took the test and I saw it. It immediately showed, and I was like, oh, I knew it. I was very tired. My boobs hurt a lot, especially in the morning. And the most pain was in my armpits. It was pulling from my armpits really badly. It was so painful. It felt like somebody was almost ripping my boobs out. And every time I was moving side to side, oh, that hurt so bad. I was very hungry and thirsty. I ate so much food and I was so thirsty. And I had not a lot actually, I had some cramping. But I had cramping actually for several weeks here and there. My digestion was still very good. And I had a headache. But I wasn't nauseous yet. In week 5, I was very tired, very hungry and thirsty, still eating a lot. The appetite was still very big. Slowly the nausea started creeping in. And it was never in the morning for me. It was always in the afternoon and nighttime. But it was still pretty chill. I had a very weird taste in my mouth. I'm not sure, maybe metallic. Some really weird taste. And the weird thing is my mouth was dry and salivating a lot at the same time. So towards the roof of my mouth it was very dry, and then the sides were salivating non-stop. I had cramping still, I was out of breath, I had a headache, my digestion was still very good. And my crazy dreams started. I've been having crazy dreams since week 5, and wow. Ooh, nose itch. I heard that from so many women, and also in my doula training, that pregnancy makes you have to buckle up at night because the dreams are so intense and crazy, and it's true. They're so vivid and lucid and just wild, and it feels like they're going all night non-stop from the minute you fall asleep until you wake up, and from one dream into the next. It's just intense. And still the boobs hurt. They were hurting for a few weeks. Week 6 week 6, this is when my digestion started to suck really bad, which was probably my least favorite symptom, even over the nausea, I have to say, because I'm just used to having really beautiful digestion, and if you can't go to the bathroom, no matter how much water you drink and how well you eat, and oh, it's just so bad. It's just, if you feel nauseous and you can't go to the bathroom and release yourself from anything, it's just, oh, what a gross feeling. Yeah, the nausea ramped up also in week 6. Nausea was worst for me week 6, 7, 8, 9 for a month. And before and after it was subtle. So yeah, I was nauseous, but once again, never really in the morning. That is when I felt best. And afternoon, evening was when my nausea was at its worst. But also the more active I was, the less nauseous I was. Or I was just distracting myself from the nausea. So when I was just sitting around, the nausea was just so there. And if I was doing things, it was still there, but I was just not thinking about it so much. I was very tired and fatigued. I slept so much. I slept during the day too, took naps, and I'm not a nappy person. Boobs still hurt, emotional. I was very emotional. I had still headaches, or almost migraine type headaches. And I was very gassy, burping and farting. And once again, crazy dreams. Week 7, same old, crazy dreams. And they're still going. I'm in week 14 and I don't think it's gonna stop. Week 7, still slow digestion, pathetic poops. Just so sad, emotional and nauseous. So yeah, week 6, 7, 8, and 9 were my toughest weeks, and it was hard. Definitely, it was difficult, and most of the time when I felt really bad, I just went to sleep, because usually when I woke up after 2-3 hours napping, I felt better. Oh yeah, and I also had crazy food aversions. We had a no cook rule for a couple weeks in the house because any kind of food smell made me so nauseous. And the only food aversions I really had was animal products. And well, I was plant-based for over 10 years. And then for a year or so, I ate some local eggs here and there. And after going to a doctor's appointment, a naturopathic doctor, she suggested for me to try some ghee. So I did give that a try for a little bit. Wasn't a fan though. And as soon as I became pregnant, animal products were my only food aversion. Immediate, no thank you, going back to plant-based. That felt so much more aligned with me and so much better, and I'm very happy with that. Surprisingly, I was able to eat greens and salads and things that a lot of other people have food aversions. I was able to eat, so I loved fresh vegetables, greens, salads, and of course fruit. Fruits were my number one thing to eat. Around week 10 or so, my symptoms started easing slowly, so I wasn't nauseous every day. It was more of a one day just feeling so good, and then the next day, oh, nausea is back. So week 10 and 11, it was kind of a back and forth of I made it through, and oh no, I haven't made it through. And but overall symptoms were slowly easing. But things that never were easing were the crazy dreams. And I'm okay with that. It's kind of fun. It's very interesting to see. And I have to blow my nose. So yeah, I think around week 12 is when the nausea pretty much was gone. The only time it would ever happen to me would be if I ate meals that were too big. It's really true that more frequent, smaller meals make more sense because the digestion has slowed down. So eating large meals kind of digest very slowly, and that could make me nauseous. So yeah, as long as I don't eat gigantic meals, I'm usually fine and I don't really experience nausea anymore. And that nausea was also different. The nausea in week 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 was more of a constant lingering motion sickness kind of feeling. And then once that went away and just the occasional nausea happened here and there from eating too much or something, felt more of a regular, oh my god, I ate too much kind of nausea. It's a little bit different. Symptoms that were pretty consistent, still are, is that I feel like my pee smells really weird. And I also heard that in other pregnancy videos from other women, that they felt like their pee smelled super weird, and I agree. For me, that's sometimes it doesn't really, but most of the time it smells really weird to me and I don't like it. A lot of burps, and I never burped before. I'm not a burpy or gassy person in general, but pregnancy has made me burpy. And some insomnia, so it's either complete passing out, fatigue, sleeping like a rock, or I have extreme energy and I wake up in the middle of the night for a few hours and I can't sleep. And also my hair has been growing super fast, which makes sense. All the hormones, of course. Hair's growing like crazy. I have to cut my fringe way more often than usual. Yeah, but I think overall, that's probably all of the symptoms that I have experienced. And I'm sure as we move along, there might be some changes, some new symptoms. Right now I'm in the second week of my second trimester, and it for me is really, really true that second trimester is such a relief. All the energy is back, plus some more, much more actually. I felt a lot of energy. I've been working out a lot. I've been doing a lot of yoga and feeling very happy, definitely emotional, but happy. Mood is up and elated, and I'm excited for the second trimester. It feels good. So now let's talk about being pregnant with EMETOPHOBIA. So once more, for those who don't know what EMETOPHOBIA is, it's the extreme irrational fear of throwing up. And I have had that since I was about 2 or 3 years old, since I was a very little girl. And that's when it was the most intense. And it probably, well, it was very intense when I was a child, peaked in my teenage years. And then over the last 15 years or so, I have been working at it very much, and slowly over the years it's gotten a little bit less intense. And it is nothing like it used to be, but it is still there. So yeah, when I was a child, when my sister had to throw up or something, I would run as far away as I could and hide in a closet, shut my ears, scream and cry. And those kind of reactions lasted through all of my child and teenage years, and started to morph into panic attacks. So anytime I had to throw up or anybody else around me, I would go into panic attacks and wouldn't be able to calm down my nervous system for hours, sometimes days. And I don't really know when that was triggered. Must have been early in life. Yeah, I don't really know exactly. But this was my experience for a long, long time, until I was maybe 25 or something. And then I've always been working towards easing my symptoms. So, I also started understanding that it's pretty irrational, and it's not going to help me if this will continue in my life, because this is just a part of life sometimes. And I don't want to be reacting in this way forever. And I want to be a mom, and children throw up. And often in pregnancy, you are nauseous or you throw up. Sometimes in birth, you throw up. It's just a part of life. And I don't want to not live my life 100% because of this fear of mine. So yeah, I've been working towards lessening symptoms. I'm 31 now, so I've been working towards just getting better at this for my whole life, but especially the last 5 to 10 years. And it is better. So, if I'm ever around someone that needs to throw up, I still have this reaction of, I need to get away, I can't be here. But once I'm away, I am calm, and I'm not continuously going down the spiral, which years ago it used to be, I'm running into a full-blown panic attack, and I will not be able to calm myself down for hours. Even in a movie, if somebody threw up in a movie, and even if it was fake, I had to turn off the movie, and I couldn't do anything for many hours. So now if somebody throws up in a movie, my reaction is still like looking away and hating it, but 2 minutes and I'm good. And in real life too, it's happening. I'm still running away from it in the moment, but then I'm gone and I'm good. There's no heart racing, there's no freaking out. So that is huge progress for me. Insanely big progress. The pregnancy, of course, was a huge challenge for me with this fear, because being nauseous is my biggest fear in my life, and I would choose anything over being nauseous, which I know is irrational, but that's just how it is when you have a weird, irrational fear, right? So then to say yes to a pregnancy, knowing that most likely you will have constant nausea for a while, because it is quite common, it's already a big step and a big decision to make, that yes, I am facing this huge irrational fear head on, and I'm saying yes to pregnancy. That was huge. And then to experience constant nausea for, I don't know, 5 to 6 weeks was a big challenge for me. And sometimes I was crying and I said, this is not worth it. I can't do this, because it was so scary for me. And I still did it. I did it again and again, and I made it through again and again. And it was like the most intense boot camp of my life for me, to face this every single day, to feel on the verge of throwing up often, and to still continue, and to just go and do it. It's facing fears, facing fears is very hard. So I did that for the duration of however long this nausea lasted. With all the intense and the subtle nausea together, it was maybe 6 to 7 weeks. And now that I'm out of it, first of all, I'm of course extremely proud. And of course now, after the fact, I can say it wasn't that bad. Just like all of us can do that when we make it through something hard. Afterwards, there's relief, and we are proud, and we can say, okay, wow, this wasn't that bad. The worst part was my mind freaking out about it. And yeah, it's like a little boot camp. I made it through such a long time of facing my fears and feeling a little bit closer to overcoming this fear even more. Now I know that, I can still get nauseous again, and just like it's part of life, so it's inevitable. Plus, I'm gonna have a child, and children throw up. So, am I afraid of that? Yes. Am I gonna face it head on? Yes. Because I am not. It is extremely important to me to not infuse this fear into my child, consciously or unconsciously, by having some sort of reaction that will make the child feel unsafe while they're experiencing feeling nauseous or sick. So I'm extremely committed to overcome this. And I'm excited to overcome this, because I have overcome a million things in this life, and this is just another gigantic elephant, and I will overcome this too. I have a lot of trust. This is just one of those things that takes decades for me to overcome, but that doesn't mean that I won't be able to, because I will. And I am visualizing, and I'm visualizing for myself a future where I handle this actually in the complete opposite way, with a lot of grace and compassion towards myself and whoever is experiencing sickness, and going from one extreme, which is the running away and the panic attacks, to going to the opposite, which is being extremely caring and being able to witness and hold space and be motherly, even when it makes me feel a certain way, or maybe it will not make me feel a certain way at some point. I have faith in that. And I also think that it is beautiful that little tiny babies throw up. It's like a very nice introduction into bigger human throw up. It's first just milk, and it'll eventually get into bigger throw-ups, but I feel like that will be a nice way for me to be introduced into that, and to slowly get used to it, to these sudden happenings of, oh my god, ooh, I have a lot of faith, and I have a lot of faith in anyone else who experiences this fear. I have a lot of compassion for you, because I know how extreme this fear is. I've dealt with it for 31 years now. The most intense part of it was 25 years, and then slowly tapering off. And whoever has experiences emetophobia, and maybe you're pregnant now, or you really want to be pregnant but it's holding you back from being pregnant because of that fear, I wish you the best, and I believe in you, and you can do it. We can face any fears that we have in life, no matter how big they are. And it is extremely scary, but it is so worth it to overcome our fears. That's when we set ourselves free. And yeah, letting ourselves out of our prisons that maybe someone else has put us in, but now we are keeping the prison shut, you know? We are the ones that are guarding it. So allowing to walk head on into the worst nightmare fears and to feel like a warrior, because that's what we are. We can do this, and we can overcome anything. And then once we have overcome it, we will look at it like, this is so easy. And I know I will get there, and I know you will get there too. So yeah, this is my first trimester with emetophobia. And I don't even want to say I have emetophobia anymore, because I feel like it's going away and I don't want to perpetuate this. So I used to have it, and I am working through it, and so can you. So thank you so much for listening. I hope everyone is happy and well and healthy, and I see you in my next video. Bye.